Howdy, y'all. I've always been interested in the welfare of the incarcerated. I haven't really had the opportunity to talk about that on my channel until this Johnny Somali situation. Some people have been excited at the idea of Johnny getting abused in prison, even making prison rape jokes. These jokes are made with a kind of bravado. They're like, hey, I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I'm tough on crime. These people are scum. They deserve to get abused. Yeah, glorifying state atrocities isn't something you should be thumping your chest over. I've seen different statistics on how many people are getting sexually assaulted in prison. Some of them are quite high, like 1 in 5. A couple years ago, Andrew Anglin said it was happening hardly at all, that prison rape was basically a myth. I'm not actually an Andrew Anglin fan because I can't follow anybody who wants to ban pit bulls. I mean, I still listen to Henrik from Red Ice sometimes. Probably the reason why the alt-right came out against pit bulls is because they know that pitties are black people's favorite dogs, and they want to stick it to black people. I certainly don't want to take away black people's dogs. And also, what's another demographic that also loves pit bulls? Rednecks. Another thing that annoyed me about Anglin was that he posted an article with 2 pictures side by side, comparing the women of Nazi Germany to the modern-day pink-hatted feminists, and said that they were basically the same. I think what he was trying to say was that women aren't capable of independent thinking. But the thing is, Germany had been walked on so thoroughly, which is the reason why those patriotic Nazi women picked up the swastika. There is no comparison between these 2 groups of women. I do agree with Anglin, though, when he says that if he doesn't have the free speech to say a bunch of racist stuff on the internet, none of us have free speech. But anyways, as I was saying, prisoners should not be getting raped nor bullied in prison. We certainly aren't paying taxes for them to get abused. When this stuff happens, taxpayers are being looted. And no Christian nation should tolerate this stuff. Some people might try to accuse me of saying that I think prison should be a country club, but I'm all for prisoners doing hard labor. Morally, the most we could put them through is hard labor. People that want to create a hell on earth for prisoners are falling into a kind of irreverence. Sending people to hell is the prerogative of God and God alone. I will say, though, that we do need to maximize prisoners' nutrition with food and vitamins, because, for one, we will have to live with them when they get out. And nutrition affects mental and emotional health. Sometimes, when a libertarian calls someone a statist, that person responds sarcastically with, ouch. What is statism, though? Statism is holding the state to little or no standard. Statism always entails the loss of human dignity. Another thing is, the state always needs a psyop to promote statism. It could not exist without one. This is because, at the outset, the state fails, and when it fails spectacularly. The source of state failure is that violence isn't good for much. If you want to use the state to fix a problem, you're saying that violence will fix the problem. When the state fails, people are forced to choose between admitting the fact that the violence employed by the state was a disaster, or accept the bullshit that supposedly frees the state from culpability. It has a variety of tactics at its disposal, from finding a scapegoat to blame to pretending that the problem doesn't even exist. As Mises pointed out, every state intervention creates 2 or 3 more problems. Problems that the state, armed with a psyop, then volunteers to fix. This process inevitably creates even more problems. And as these problems become more numerous and more obvious, the state is required to intensify its psyop. We are at the point now where the psyop approaches a religion. An example of how this religion expresses itself is gun control. People that want gun control aren't against guns. They love guns. Their support of gun control is a public and psychological tribute to their God, the state. It's like saying, "Dear Holy State, I reserve to you and you alone the power, the glory, and the prestige of the gun." Prison rape jokes are another expression of subservience to the state. Just like the tough guy, "Don't bend over for the soap" jokes. The people making these jokes are also paying tribute to the state by ignoring its atrocities. We are taught from birth to be like this, and only the strongest can resist.